We are now going to begin to work with includes. We'll take a look at the code, and we'll also take a look at a couple of files that we will be including. So first of all, I'm going to open up template.php. And if we move over to code view, this is an example of code you can add for your include. So within this area, we have an opening and closing code block for PHP. Between our PHP code block, we have the word include. Within that area, we are including the header unique.php. So that is our header file that only has the code for the header content. Notice this is enclosed in single quotes and parentheses with a semicolon at the end. Now this is assuming these two pages are within the same site folder. If they were not, I would need to modify this. I need to make sure that the template page can locate the header unique page. We have everything in a single root folder, so this works perfectly. What we're going to do is go over to the header page now and see what content that contains. Within our header page, all we have are two divs. The first div has an ID of header and it's pulling in our image. The second div has an ID of navbar and this is pulling in all of our navigational piece. If I look at this page in design view, it will not have our coding for the CSS piece. It has the content for the page, but it does not contain content in terms of the styles for the content. The page itself is going to add the CSS for us. So we won't have any CSS sitting on this page that we're going to include other than putting our content into a div with the correct IDs, and once it's dropped onto the actual page, the CSS will automatically apply. Now we've used that same concept for the footer page. Our div is located within this area. I have an image coming in, and once this gets onto the actual page, that actual page will have the styles for this footer ID. So let's go over to the template page once again, and what we're going to do is take this page content right here with the include, and we can copy it. Now, if I go out to the About Us page and we look at the code, you will see that we have two divs, one for the header and one for the navbar. That is what I'm going to be replacing with our include code. So I will select both of those divs, opening and closing for both. I will right-click and paste my include information within this area. Now that I have that pulled onto the page, that should take care of pulling in our header for us. So you can see includes are a very nice concept and fairly easy to work with. Now what I'm going to do is replace the footer div. Since I already have that header information on my clipboard, I'll go ahead and replace that. I'll select it and hit Tab just to indent it. And instead of header down here, we are going to say footer. There we go. Let's save this page and preview it. And you can see our header content is pulled in. Our footer content is pulled in. Now we can use this same concept on our index page. We have our header div and our navbar div. I will replace that with our include for the header. Down in our footer area, I will select the opening and closing div for our footer. Paste this in. I'll go ahead and set up this code so it looks a little neater. Tab in, and this will be our footer. Now we'll save that page and preview it in the browser. Now if I take this out to the full browser, because I'm just looking at it in Dreamweaver's version using Design View, I want to make sure in the full browser this is working correctly. And it is. There's our index page. I'll go over to the About Us, which looks like it's working in Dreamweaver Design View. And here it is. So our page is all set. We've added an include. In terms of the code, you can see it really doesn't take that much code to pull in an include. You just have to know what coding is on the file to be included and how to incorporate that on this page that's going to pull it in. So that is how you use includes in PHP.